This morning, new details in the joyride that ended in a fiery crash, taking actor Paul Walker's life.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the celebrity conspiracy theories that'll have you reconsidering everything you know, or think you know.
I got a bathtub and an imagination. I'm staying indoors this summer. That way I can listen to music I like.
Number 30, The Beatles.
What the hell was that?
Yesterday.
That was one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's a bit soppy, bit sweet.
When did you write that?
I didn't write it. Paul McCartney wrote it, the Beatles.
Who?
Did you know that director Danny Boyle's 2019 film Yesterday, which imagines a world where the Fab Four never existed, is actually a documentary? That's what the creator of a website called The Beatles, as they were presented to us never existed, would have you believe. First gaining traction in 2014, the site's anonymous creator posited that, quote, there were never just 4 individual people known as John, Paul, George, and Ringo who comprised one rock and roll band known as the Beatles. Instead, the site argues that the lads from Liverpool were actually a series of multiples who were routinely swapped out. Sadly, the website has since been taken down. Tomorrow never knows indeed.
John, Paul, George and Ringo, the Beatles.
Which Beatles is this? The insect Beatles or the car Beatles?
The pop group Beatles. Nick, help me out here.
Right, yes. There's this problem with musicians. They presume everyone else has this encyclopedic knowledge of obscure pop and make you feel stupid when you haven't heard of bands, like Neutral Milk Hotel.
Number 29, Marisa Tomei.
We agreed to get married as soon as you won your first case. Meanwhile, 10 years later, my niece, the daughter of my sister, is getting married. My biological clock is ticking like this, and the way this case is going, I ain't never getting married.
This is one conspiracy that's just plain offensive. Not only to Ms. Tomei, but to fans of great acting worldwide. Tomei was awarded the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress for her performance in the iconic 1992 comedy My Cousin Vinny. In the film, she plays Joe Pesci's fiery, long-suffering fiancée Mona Lisa, and her character ends up being hugely important to the film's plot development.
Well, in what way are you qualified?
Well, my father was a mechanic. His father was a mechanic. My mother's father was a mechanic. My 3 brothers are mechanics. 4 uncles on my father's side are mechanics.
Vito, your family's obviously qualified.
However, Tomei was belittled as starring in a lesser comedy, typically not the stuff of Oscar bait. As such, conspiracy theorists claimed that presenter Jack Palance had read the wrong name when announcing Tomei's category, and that the Academy had simply gone along with it to avoid potential embarrassment.
Uh-oh, he read the wrong name.
Shh, just play along like they did for Marisa Tomei.
Number 28, Bob Marley.
Don't worry about a thing.
For a musician known by the distinctive refrain, every little thing is gonna be all right, this conspiracy theory veers sharply in the opposite direction. Marley, who died in May 1981 of cancer, was the subject of an assassination attempt in 1976. Although the reggae legend tried to remain politically neutral in his home country of Jamaica, his perceived support of the Democratic Socialist government of Prime Minister Michael Manley led to an attempt on his life. A frequently debunked theory claims that the CIA was behind the attempted murder, based on a deathbed confession from a former agent who no one can prove actually existed. Number 27, John Travolta.
Tonight is the future, and I am planning for it. There's a shirt I gotta buy, beautiful shirt.
Sorry, Tony, no exceptions.
Just what you need in advance, right? Big shot.
Following hits like Saturday Night Fever and Grease, John Travolta's career took a nosedive with several critical and financial duds until his Oscar-nominated comeback as Vincent Vega in 1994's Pulp Fiction. According to this theory, though, Travolta died in 1991 and was swapped out with German singer Roy Black.
Mach die Augen zu, California Blue.
Although Black died from heart failure on October 9, 1991, his passing resemblance to Travolta has led some to believe that he faked his death and took the actor's place. Of course, it's unclear how Travolta would have died or why Black replaced him. So it's safe to assume that Travolta is still staying alive. Number 26, Miley Cyrus. As Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus played an ordinary schoolgirl who was secretly a pop sensation. If you think that premise sounds contrived, try this one. Speaking on The Alex Jones Show, Korn singer Jonathan Davis laid down his theory that Miley was a sleeper agent for the Obama administration. Apparently, Obama was using Cyrus and her controversial twerking to manipulate the media, thus distracting the public from America's more pressing issues. Unlikely. But then again, Elvis actually received a Bureau of Narcotics and Dangerous Drugs badge from President Richard Nixon. So maybe the idea of a special agent Cyrus isn't all that far-fetched.
Oh my God.
Holy.
I'm so undercover.
Number 25, Brittany Murphy.
Hollywood is mourning the loss of Brittany Murphy this morning. The 32-year-old actress died on Sunday from what officials say appear to be natural causes. An autopsy is planned, reportedly against the wishes of her husband.
The clueless star's tragic, untimely 2009 passing was mourned by fans the world over, lamenting the huge loss of talent and potential that lay before Murphy. Aged only 32 when she died, Murphy's circumstances at the time of her death came under heavy scrutiny for their bizarre, hard-to-explain nature.
Medical examiners say actress Brittany Murphy appears to have died of natural causes. The 32-year-old died in Los Angeles yesterday morning after apparently collapsing at her Hollywood home. There are reports she went into cardiac arrest, but that has not been confirmed by doctors.
Attributed to pneumonia, with complications brought on by Murphy's pre-existing anemia, some blamed the Department of Homeland Security for Murphy's loss. Apparently, Murphy's support for whistleblower Julia Davis led to her and her husband's poisoning by the government department. Or so some conspiracy theorists claim.
I'm Brittany Murphy's father, Angelo. Brittany also was called as a witness in the Julia Davis case.
Number 24, Paul Walker.
New details this morning on the deaths of Fast and Furious star Paul Walker and his friend killed in a fiery car accident over the weekend.
Embracing online conspiracy theories is anything but harmless fun. Just ask the family of late actor Walker, who died tragically in a 2013 auto accident aged 40. Depending on whom you choose to believe, the Fast and Furious and Varsity Blues star had made some powerful enemies before his death, namely Bill and Hillary Clinton. In his lifetime, Walker was a noted philanthropist, and an entirely false 2019 Facebook post claimed that through his charity work, quote, he was set to come forward exposing the Clinton Foundation's crimes against children in Haiti. Aside from both the Walker and Clinton charities operating in Haiti, there is absolutely no evidence to suggest that the Clintons masterminded Walker's heartbreaking death.
On Saturday, both men attended a toy drive and car show for Walker's charity, Reach Out Worldwide. Here's Walker with that Porsche in one of the last known videos of the 40-year-old star.
Number 23, Kris Kristofferson. Kristofferson seemed to live countless lives over the course of his 88 years, becoming a Rhodes Scholar, U.S. Army captain, and English teacher before his esteemed career in music. However, another job that Kristofferson has been accused of taking? That would be as a, quote, Vatican-based Project Monarch slave runner as part of the CIA's clandestine MKUltra program. According to conspiracy theorist Kathy O'Brien, the country singer was responsible for coordinating a widespread government mind control program, as detailed in her 1995 book, Transformation of America. Author David G. Robertson has blasted O'Brien's claims, stating that, quote, no one has ever been prosecuted of such crimes, nor has any corroborating material evidence ever been produced.
Michael Jackson was being groomed in the CIA's MKUltra mind control project the same time I was. Same project, which is Monarch, which is the multi-generational one. He was in Project Monarch at the same time I was, and he grew up just a couple hours from me. So,
Number 22, David Carradine.
How did you find me?
I'm the man.
What are you doing here?
What am I doing? Well, a moment ago I was playing my flute.
Yet another case of talent being ripped from this earth before its time. The Kill Bill star's 2009 death from asphyxiation appeared to simply have been an accident. That's what the evidence suggests, based at least partially on the fact that Carradine didn't leave a note explaining his intentions.
Based on the crime scene, it appeared the victim died of suffocation.
After Carradine's body was discovered in his Bangkok hotel room, attorney Mark Garagos claimed that Thai kung fu gangs were to blame for the actor's supposed murder. Garagos stated that, quote, if there was some foul play, that may be the first area where they should look, based on Carradine's interest in martial arts. Sure, Mark, whatever you say.
This moment
beautiful bride these old eyes have ever seen. Why are you here? Last look.
Number 21, Alex Jones. While we're loath to call the disgraced online conspiracy theorist a celeb, it's hard to argue that this is a crazy conspiracy theory. According to a now deleted Vimeo upload entitled Irrefutable Proof that Alex Jones is Bill Hicks, the controversial radio host is actually the firebrand comic, having faked his 1994 death and slightly changed his appearance. That same video claims that Hicks was, quote, recruited by the CIA to become the controlled opposition by the mainstream media, and that he was, quote, continuously fed approved intelligence by his CIA handlers. While Jones and Hicks admittedly share a passing resemblance, pretty much nothing else about this conspiracy actually tracks in reality. Number 20, Justin Bieber. When Justin Bieber was traveling through Australia in 2017, a Perth news site published an article claiming the pop star is actually a lizard person, or, in other words, a reptilian. According to several witnesses, Bieber was walking through an airport when he suddenly shapeshifted into a lizard with scales all over his body. Other believers of this theory point to a 2014 court video showing the singer blinking slowly in an ominously lizard-like fashion. There's just one problem. The news site Perth Now claims they never published the story to begin with. If there's any truth to it, though, Bieber will go down as one of the all-time great lizard vocalists. Number 19, Jennifer Aniston and Vin Diesel. James Cameron's Avatar took the world by storm in 2009 and ended up being the highest-grossing film of the year. But what if it was actually supposed to be released a decade earlier, along with titles like Prince of Persia and G.I. Joe? Such is the thinking behind this complicated theory, which purports that in response to being dumped for Sienna Miller by an actor supposedly involved in G.I. Joe, Jennifer Aniston burglarized Hollywood movie studios with her accomplice Vin Diesel, making off with several blockbuster titles and stowing them away for years.
I mean, I'm probably 98% happy and maybe 2% jealous.
The ploy was outlined in an email sent to The Hollywood Reporter in 2010 and involves up to 23 other famous actors. Number 18, Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz, family man, senator, candidate for president of the United States, serial killer. Does this look like a man who's standing like a normal human being?
This one's more of a joke than an actual conspiracy theory, or at least that's what they want you to think.
We will defend freedom and be faithful to the Constitution.
After a joke was made on social media that the Republican presidential hopeful titled one of his speeches, "This is the Zodiac speaking," people on the internet started freaking out and creating memes insinuating that the politician was himself the Zodiac, a serial killer who went on a murder spree in the 60s and 70s and was never caught.
Don't get up. I want her to tie you up.
Obviously, the math is against this theory, as Cruz was only born 2 years after the murders started. Although, what if he's a vampire or some other kind of undead creature? That would just be ludicrous. But then again, how do we know he's not an immortal?
I think one of the main goals I read was like, if we get this big enough, then Donald Trump will ask, he'll start questioning it.
Oh,
like,
that'd be great.
Like, well, I mean, he's not saying he's not the killer, so, I mean, why wouldn't you just say no?
Number 17. Princess Diana.
Attributing her death to negligence, mistakes, bad behavior isn't nearly as tantalizing as a claim of murder.
Bizarre conspiracies are not just the domain of the celebrity. In some cases, even nobility can get dragged into the weirdness. Case in point, the mystery surrounding the death of Diana, Princess of Wales. While the common belief is that Lady Di perished in a car crash while trying to escape the paparazzi, there are witnesses who claim the paparazzi were nowhere near her at the time. Instead, the rumor mill suggests that the British Secret Service organized the murder to stop her from converting to Islam and marrying Dodi Fayed, who was in the car at the same time. Some also believe that forces within the British government wanted her dead because she knew too much about their involvement with none other than the Illuminati. Number 16, Britney Spears. While this notion is hilarious to think about, if you're up on your conspiracy theories, it does sound like something the American government would probably do. But why? Well, supposedly, the Bush administration was working with Spears to use her to cover up their own mistakes. Every time something went wrong in the White House, the singer would coincidentally do something to divert attention back to her.
I vow to do everything in my power to keep us safe.
Bush's approval ratings reach an all-time low. Britney allegedly drops her baby. Al-Qaeda reforms after Bush promises to get rid of them. Britney shaves her head. It's all part of the big plan. Number 15, Paul McCartney. Did you know that the real Paul McCartney actually died in 1966 and was replaced by a lookalike? Or at least that's what some fans theorize.
I just laughed it off, but it was a little bit strange because people did start looking at me like, Is it him?
They say that all the proof you need that Paul is dead is in his lyrics. For instance, if you play Revolution 9 from the Beatles' White Album backwards, it reportedly sounds like they're saying, "Turn me on, dead man."
Turn me on, dead man. Turn me on, dead man. Turn me on, dead man.
John Lennon can also be heard saying, "I buried Paul" in the song Strawberry Fields Forever, instead of the actual lyrics, "cranberry sauce." McCartney himself, who is likely very much alive, even poked fun at this conspiracy by naming one of his albums Paul is Live. But ask yourself this: would the real Paul McCartney write Spies Like Us? Number 14, John Lennon. Who killed John Lennon? Well, according to this theory, Stephen King. But it was Presidents Nixon and Ronald Reagan, according to theorist Steve Lightfoot, who gave King the clearance to take the Beatle out. Lightfoot suggests magazines like Time and Newsweek published cryptic messages foreshadowing Lennon's death, and notes King's resemblance to the man the law and history say actually killed John Lennon. Of course, this theory raises far more questions than it could ever answer. What was Stephen King's motive? Why'd the other guy take the fall? And why would the US government enlist an independently wealthy author to assassinate a world-renowned musician?
I can't figure it out. I mean, it's kind of masochistic, but hey, it pays the bills, you know what I'm saying?
It all makes about as much sense as Maximum Overdrive.
What is going on? I don't know!
Number 13, the Illuminati A-list. Originally founded in the 1700s as an enlightened secret society in Bavaria, the Illuminati has always been shrouded in mystery of some kind. Today, however, theorists have transformed the order into a ritualistic melting pot for rich and famous musicians, film stars, and politicians. Essentially, the theory is that powerful and influential people are working together to brainwash the masses towards a new world order of totalitarian rule. Jay-Z and Beyonce, Kim and Kanye, Katy Perry, Rihanna, Barack Obama,
It's not true.
Emma Watson, Celine Dion, Daft Punk, Lil Wayne, Miley Cyrus, and even the entire cast of Boy Meets World have all been suggested as members at one point or another. Number 12, Taylor Swift. As you might have noticed, many of the conspiracies on this list stem from a physical likeness to celebrity Cher. In addition to being a musical artist, Zena Schreck was perhaps best known as the daughter of Anton LaVey, the Church of Satan's founder. Zena was the church's spokesperson for almost 5 years until she stepped down as high priestess in 1990. Singer-songwriter Taylor Swift was born a year earlier in 1989 and would grow up to be a dead ringer for Zena. Is Swift actually an Illuminati clone of Zena? Well, if that were the case, Zena probably would have appeared alongside Swift's other personas in her Look What You Made Me Do music video. Number 11, Khloe Kardashian. Keep up with this. Long before the Kardashians were reality TV megastars, the family found their first slice of fame during the notorious O.J. Simpson murder trial. Robert Kardashian, father to Kourtney, Kim, Khloe, and Rob, was part of the team representing the one-time NFL star on the extremely high-profile case. But there are rumors that OJ had even closer links to the family. Claims that Simpson is Khloe's father have regularly arisen, helped along by his willingness to do DNA testing. But, at least publicly, the family insists that Robert is Khloe's real dad. End of story. Probably.
And so now, unfortunately, it all makes sense that that's probably what she wanted to reveal to me.
Number 10, Suri Cruise. Ever since she was born in 2006, there's been a spotlight on Suri. As the daughter of Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes, her upbringing was never going to be ordinary. But when the first photos of the family emerged, after a long period of post-pregnancy secrecy during which some people doubted Suri even existed, the internet was awash with otherworldly rumors. Her distinctive look, coupled with her parents' penchant for saying weird things and doing even weirder things, led some people to believe that Suri was an alien.
You don't know the history of psychiatry. I do.
We've seen Tom Cruise do some unbelievable things on screen, but could he really have fathered extraterrestrial life? Surely some things are impossible. Number 9, Keanu Reeves. The entertainment industry is full of people that don't look their age, or act their age for that matter. Given how much musical artist Lorde accomplished before even turning 21, One theory suggests that she's actually in her 40s. An even crazier conspiracy asserts that actor Keanu Reeves is an immortal being. The years have certainly been kind to Reeves. As he's shown little age throughout almost 3 decades in film, the plot only thickens when you study portraits and pictures of several figures throughout history that look just like Reeves. It's almost as if he has a time machine right out of Bill and Ted. Either that, or Keanu really is the one.
Okie dokie.
Number 8, the not dead theory.
Almost 30 years after his death, a brand new Andy is alive rumor is raging through the internet.
Sometimes we love our celebrities so much we just can't let them go. And after every high-profile celebrity death, there are those who refuse to believe it's true and that their fave star is actually gone. For example, if you ask some people where Elvis Presley, Andy Kaufman, and Michael Jackson are right now, the answers will be living in Michigan, New Mexico, and Canada respectively. Oh, and Jim Morrison's living as a homeless man in New York City.
With God as our Father, brothers are we.
But perhaps the most famous not dead theory of all is that rapper Tupac Shakur faked his death. He was supposedly assassinated in a drive-by shooting in 1996, but others claim he's still alive based on clues in his lyrics and one of his stage names, Machiavelli. According to them, he's now living in Cuba.
I think he's somewhere like in Africa or something, you know, like in third world country.
Yeah, just kicking it on the low.
Number 7, Nicolas Cage.
No! Please! Better get back in your coffin, buddy.
Con Air, Kick-Ass, Leaving Las Vegas. The Nick Cage back catalog is undoubtedly impressive. But according to an entrepreneurial eBay seller, the Oscar-winning actor is hiding an incredible secret. He's a vampire. In 2011, Jack Mord listed for sale an 1870 post-Civil War photograph of an unidentified man with a $1 million price tag. Mord claimed that the photo showed Cage miraculously alive and well more than 140 years ago.
I got nothing in common with them, with you.
The resemblance is spooky, but Cage has continually laughed off the accusations, insisting that, contrary to popular belief, he does have a reflection and he does not drink blood. Or so he claims.
Number 6, Michael Jackson.
The king of pop was no stranger to conspiracy theories, but this one is by far the craziest and most disturbing. Following Jackson's death, his physician, Conrad Murray, was convicted of involuntary manslaughter. Murray went on to write a tell-all book in which he claimed Jackson was chemically castrated as a child. According to Murray, MJ's testes were intact, but the singer received injections to maintain his higher-pitched voice. This wasn't the first time such an accusation had been made, as Professor Alain Branchereau previously wrote that Jackson had been castrated to combat his acne.
What's the problem?
Number 5, Marilyn Monroe.
A blonde bombshell, dead at 36 from an overdose. At least that's what they told us. Others argue that Marilyn Monroe was actually murdered by the CIA or FBI, following alleged affairs with John and Robert Kennedy. Per these theories, Monroe was a potential scandal and someone who knew too much about top-level US politics. Another theory has it that she was killed by the mafia, who was either working on behalf of the Kennedys or trying to frame them. Then, of course, there's the suggestion that she never died at all, but was instead forced into hiding to escape fame. In 1982, an official review supported the original overdose verdict, yet many remain unconvinced.
Number 4, Beyonce.
Wild rumors always seem to float around Queen Bee, what with her being in the Illuminati and demonically possessed and all. But the biggest question marks hang over her first pregnancy, which many believe she faked. Serious rumors started when Beyoncé appeared on Australian television, and her baby bump seemed to fold during an interview. Theories gathered pace when the due date for Blue Ivy routinely changed, when very few definitive pregnancy photos were released, and when Jay-Z and Beyoncé reportedly hired out an entire wing at a Manhattan hospital to ensure absolute privacy, or secrecy, during the birth. The couple has always dismissed the idea, but there is something mighty strange about that disappearing belly.
Number 3, Stevie Wonder.
Stevie can sing. Stevie can sing. It's just an act.
Outside of maybe Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder is arguably the most recognizable blind musician who ever lived. This theory insists that Wonder was never visually impaired, and has been faking his disability for decades.
Personally, the piano and the singing, I told you how I feel about singing. I ain't impressed. You want to impress me? Take the wheel for a little while.
Many have supported the conspiracy, including sports journalist Bomani Jones, although the so-called proof is pretty thin. For example, it's been argued that Wonder can't be blind because he attends basketball games. Wonder also once caught a falling mic stand and reportedly strangled Boy George in a playful manner. Just because someone's blind doesn't mean they're completely oblivious of their surroundings, though, so it's kind of hard not to roll one's eyes at these accusations.
Number 2. Katy Perry and JonBenét Ramsey.
Who killed JonBenét Ramsey?
He went to the basement first, where, of course, whoa, he finds his daughter's body.
Well, according to some, the 6-year-old beauty pageant queen wasn't murdered at all. Instead, her death was merely a hoax, and she grew up to become pop star Katy Perry. The theory is largely based on the physical similarities between Ramsey and Perry, as well as their parents. Of course, there are several gaping holes in this conspiracy, like how Perry was born almost 6 years before Ramsey, not to mention the complete lack of motive or, a point. Honestly, the whole thing just sounds like a really morbid version of Jem.
I remember how it all began, with the unexpected death of my father.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Avril Lavigne.
When it comes to death rumors, Avril Lavigne is one celebrity that the internet simply will not leave alone.
It's been widely speculated that the singer-songwriter took her own life back in 2003, and her record company substituted her with Melissa Vandella, who is either a doppelganger or a clone.
The web is littered with before and after photos that compare Avril and Melissa.
The song Slipped Away also supposedly alludes to Avril's death, particularly the lyric, "The day you slipped away was the day I found it won't be the same."
This conspiracy reportedly originated from a Brazilian fan page and went on to spread like wildfire. It might finally be time to let the theory die, however. Are there any conspiracy theories we missed? Let us know in the comments below.
You may say I'm a dreamer.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.